You know that when you speak another language, it's not only verbs, grammar, vocabulary involved in that communication, that there are something else, that context, approach, and perspective when you speak maybe your own language or another language. Let's take into account that there are many options to express. Maybe you don't need to use a word to say something, because your gestures can say many important things to the people you want to communicate. But what is important when you speak or read in other language, in this case, the English, there are context that you have to take into account. It means that what you want to communicate, there is an approach. It's going to depend what's the first that you want to express. For example, if you want to express about people around the table or just the table, and there is a perspective. What do you want to communicate? Where do you want to take your conversation? Those are things which you have to take into account, okay? Let's see some examples. There are some pictures. For example, this picture, we have a girl, we have a dog, and we also have a house. But pay attention. What we can see first is the girl, the dog, and the keys. We can assume that she has a new house and she's happy because she has on her hands the keys of her house. That's important because we're going to approach in this video about what you want to express, in this case, about possessions. Another example is this picture. For example, you can see here maybe a living room, there's a girl, there are balloons, right? So we can, it has a contest like it's a girl who goes to a party, or maybe she goes to the school and in the school is a party, so she has to take the balloons. All that options are context, are perspective that you decide what are going to take when you speak. In this case, we have a cat, and it could look peaceful for you, okay? Or you can approach in the cup of tea, a cup of coffee on bed, and you can say, oh, what is a cup of coffee doing on bed? You know, it looks like a mess. Or maybe you can see this picture and you can see that they are happy. You can assume that they study, maybe they study English, because here we have a girl who's an English learners. We can assume many things, and that's important. All of them are context, approach, and perspective. Let's learn a bit more about what it means, context, approach, and perspective. Let's see the next picture. It's the girl again with the dog and the house. And in this case, we are going to take into account Mary. She is the girl. We're going to take into account Mary. Mary is the subject of this sentence. Mary made the action, which is has. And what does Mary have? Mary has a house. We can say Mary has a big house. Mary has a beautiful house. It depends on you. But let's see Mary again. But what about if this time our contest or our perspective is to talk about the house. So what are we going to do? As I said before, the subject is the main character in these sentences, right? Or in any other sentences. In this case, the house is at the beginning of the sentence, but we have to change the verse, of course. The house belongs to Mary, right? So what it means is that for me, in this case, that is the one who speaks or who expresses or who has the approach about the picture, said that the house is the most important. The house belongs to Mary. And remember, it's the same picture in this way or in this way. It's up to you. So as everything is up to you, what about this picture? So we can say that the girl has 6 balloons, or the balloons belongs to the girl. And in this one, you decide. What would you say about this picture? Or what would you say about the picture? That's what you decide. Let me know, please.